This movie begins in the middle of nowhere. A man that we'll call Mr. X for now is shooting another man. He apologizes as he pulls the trigger. He says, "Sorry man, nothing personal." He takes his wallet and checks his ID. He says, "So you're Brian Mars?" He buries the body and drives away. Then we are at the sheriff's office. Deputy Sam Wayburn and Laura Winslow are having a moment. There's a knock on the door. Mr. X enters the room. He says, "Excuse me, I'm looking for Sam Rayburn." The deputy responds, "What can I do for you?" Mr. X tells him, "I'm Brian Mars, your new deputy." They all get to know each other. Deputy Sam takes the new deputy to his trailer. He tells him it doesn't look that great, but it's free. They enter the trailer. Deputy Sam tells him, "Tomorrow we'll give you your uniform." Meanwhile, Laura has decided to leave her wealthy husband. His name is Jake Winslow. He is a land developer. Laura and Deputy Sam have been secret lovers for a while. Jake accuses her of only caring about his money. They become violent. He tells her she'll never see a dime of his money. Back at the sheriff's office, Deputy Brian straps on his gun. He asks the sheriff, "How do I look?" The sheriff responds, "You'll scare the hell out of some uppity seagull." Deputy Sam tells him to put his gun in the gun cabinet. Deputy Brian responds, "What's a deputy sheriff without a gun?" The sheriff replies, "Believe me, you won't need a gun in this town." The sheriff takes the new deputy on a tour of the town. Then we see Laura and Sam discussing her husband. She shows him a life insurance policy for her death. It's for $3 million. She tells Sam that she fears for her life. He holds her close and tells her, "We'll figure something out." Deputy Brian is dozing off in the office. The sheriff startles him. He's been fishing and he gives Brian some fish. He tells him to wrap them in some paper, please. Brian looks for some paper to wrap the fish. He notices a message on the teletype. It reads, "They found the body of the real Brian Mars." He removes the report. He uses it to wrap the fish in. He hopes that the sheriff never sees it. Some locals enter to invite the sheriff to an event. The sheriff asks them if they would like some fresh fish. They agree and take the fish and leave. Laura decides to kill her husband. She slips something into his drink. Then she drags him into the garage. She puts him into the car. She put the hose from the exhaust into the window. She appears to have second thoughts. Deputy Brian arrives just in the nick of time. He opens the car door. He asks Laura, "Is he dead?" She replies, "No, I put something in his whiskey." He tells her she's out of her mind. This is first-degree murder. Brian tells her, "Let's get him back in the house." Then we see Jake in bed and a little confused. Laura is being very kind to him. And now Brian and Laura are having a good time. The following day they are strolling on the beach. Laura convinces Sam that her husband has to go. His love is so strong for her that he agrees to help her. But he has certain conditions. He tells her that she must do what he says. Laura is in full agreement. Deputy Sam pays a visit to Deputy Mars. Deputy Mars is target practicing. Sam spooks Brian. Brian aims his gun at Sam. Sam orders him to lower his weapon. Brian apologizes and tells him he was just target practicing. Sam asks him about his gun. Brian tells him it was his father's. It is a German Luger he got during the war. Deputy Sam has a plan to frame Deputy Mars. He goes to his trailer to locate the Luger. He finds it and makes his getaway. Laura insists that she wants to personally shoot her husband. Sam agrees and shows her how to use the Luger. He tells her to put 3 shots in his chest. Deputy Sam goes to an old lighthouse. This will be where the murder will take place. He arranges everything to frame Deputy Mars. He shows Laura where the Luger will be. They discuss all the details. Laura will make sure he comes to the lighthouse. They will all be attending the party. She tells Sam to stay at the party. Sam tells her to throw the Luger out the window afterwards. Then they give each other a big hug. All the while Deputy Mars is watching them. Laura was supposed to go to the lighthouse. But her car won't start. Deputy Sam checks the clock on the wall. Laura's husband excuses himself from the party. He received an anonymous letter. It read, "Meet me at the old lighthouse for the truth." He goes out to his car and sees a flat tire. He decides to walk. Then Deputy Mars drives up to him. He asked, "Is there anything wrong, Mr. Winslow?" Jake agrees to the ride and gets in. Jake Winslow is completely unaware of what's happening. He has no idea that the real Brian Mars is dead. This deputy took his identity. This deputy's father was killed by Jake Winslow. This Mr. X is going to kill Mr. Winslow. He knew that Laura and Sam were going to kill him. He overheard their plan to frame him for the murder. Mr. X reversed the murder plot. He will kill Jake and frame Deputy Sam. He drops Jake off at the lighthouse. He enters the building. He looks around and asks, "Is anybody here?" Then Deputy Mars appears. Jake asked, "What are you doing here?" Mars replies, "I'm here to warn you. Your wife and her boyfriend are going to kill you." Jake responds, "Are you crazy?" Deputy Mars replies, "No, I'm not crazy. They were going to pin it on me. It's ironic because I came to this town to kill you." Jake tells him, "I'll give you all the money you want." The deputy replies, "All the money you have won't bring back my father." Jake asks, "Who are you?" Mr. X replies, "I'll never give you that satisfaction. I'm the past that just caught up with you." Then he shoots him in the neck. He bends down and says, "I guess this is just a one-way conversation." Then he shoots him in the head. Mr. X removes the hidden Luger that Deputy Sam hid. He leaves the crime scene. Deputy Sam arrives at the lighthouse. He was expecting to find Laura with her dead husband. Her husband is there, but Laura is missing. He notifies his sheriff and they remove the body. Sam thinks their plan is working, but where's Laura? Then we see Laura at the city morgue. She identifies her husband's body. Deputy Sam and the sheriff investigate the crime scene. The sheriff goes outside and finds the Luger. But Mr. X pulled a fast one. He used Deputy Sam's gun to kill him. Deputy Sam thinks the plan is working. The sheriff asks Sam, "Do we know anyone who owns a Luger?" Sam replies, "Yes, Deputy Mars owns one." Laura leaves the police station after giving a statement. Sam follows her outside. He tells her that their plan seems to be working. Laura seemed to be a little standoffish. This confuses Deputy Sam. The sheriff pays a visit to Deputy Sam's house. He tells Sam that the ballistics report came back. It confirmed that Deputy Mars' Luger has been fired. Sam asked, "Should we get a warrant?" The sheriff responds, "No, because we have a problem. Mr. Winslow was not killed with a Luger." Sam is confused and asks, "So the Luger is not the murder weapon?" The sheriff replies, "It was your 38 that killed him." Deputy Sam is at a loss for words. Sam becomes defensive and swears he didn't do it. The sheriff says, "I hope that's the truth." Now things get confusing. Sam thinks that Laura double-crossed him. He goes to see her and asks, "What are you trying to pull?" She responds, "You shouldn't be here." He accuses her of switching the guns. She was supposed to kill him with a Luger. She tells him that she didn't kill her husband. She explains that she never left the house because her car wouldn't start. He doesn't believe her and storms off in a rage. But then later she goes to see him. They have a conversation about who did what. Then it makes sense. Deputy Mars has a key to the gun cabinet. Then they kiss and make up. The sheriff is getting ready to cook some fish. He unwraps the fish that Deputy Mars gave him. It's the teletype about the body they found. It reads, "They identified the body as Brian Mars." The sheriff responds, "This is a message from a dead man." Then we see Sam inside Brian's trailer. When he comes out, Brian is waiting for him. He tells Sam to drop his gun. Sam asks him why he killed Jake Winslow. Brian replies, "Because he killed my old man." Sam tells Brian, "You'll never get away with this." Brian responds, "You tried to frame me for Jake's murder." Then Sam makes his getaway. Brian opens fire but misses. He shouts, "We're having fun now." Sam runs into the sand dunes. Brian is in hot pursuit. Sam runs for his life. Brian follows his tracks. Lucky for Sam, there is a lot of beach grass for cover. Sam sneaks up behind Brian. They tumble down the berm. Sam kicks the gun out of Brian's hand. They're in a life or death fight. But then Brian gets the gun before Sam. Sam closes his eyes thinking this is the end. Brian cocks the gun and says, "Justice rules." Then a bullet pierces his heart. He falls into Sam's arms. Sam pushes his body to the ground. Then we see the sheriff up on the ridge. Now we're back in the sheriff's office. Sam approaches the sheriff without his uniform on. He places his badge on the desk. The sheriff asks, "Are you sure about this?" Sam replies, "Yes, I'm positive." Then he walks away. The sheriff says, "Vios con Dios amigo." The sheriff looks down at the badge. Then we see Sam and Laura walking away, hand in hand. So I guess this movie had a happy ending. What do you think? If you enjoyed watching this condensed version of the movie The Killing Time, please click the like and subscribe buttons, plus leave a comment. And thanks for watching.